Yep, sounds like he turned on me.
You're fat and you talk like a moron.
Wheelchair prison.
Oh, that's a zinger. Breaking news. Beep, 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 beep. Breaking news.
Wait a minute. We just got this in. Breaking news, breaking news.
That's pretty cool.
Hey, where are the white women at?
I hate the effing ends and juice.
Go producer Joe.
How was him? Joseph Von Garble. Wait. Uh-oh. Wait. Hold on. Werner von Braun. Buenos dias, Juan El Todamenda Amanda. I don't know. I never had a desire to go into the military. I order from post because I don't want to miss the fucking game. Can you? Because I'm going to show you don't see him. Dom DeLuise. Does Susanna have big areolas? Do I have to pay for it? Do you ever crank your hard? Give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away, yeah. Give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away, yeah. I'm a little lad who loves berries and gin. You know what that means, Dave? Let's watch the dues pay up.
Look behind me.
Oh, God. Roger. Alcoholic.
Point DabblePoint. Stuttering John Melendez roundtable discussion.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a little PDP action here on the Shabbos on TSN. Joining me, been long overdue. I'm glad he's here with us and hope he's around TSN more often. From the Blackcast and WATB, Christian Blatt, ladies and gentlemen, joining us.
Hello, shitway. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you, sir. And I appreciate you coming in on short notice, by the way.
Yeah, like John Melendez, I was literally on the treadmill when you texted me. And
what
was the incline?
You can tell. Well, you know what? I'm glad you asked. So it was set at 4.1, 13 incline.
Whoa.
And there was a hot girl in Lululemon's right next to me.
Oh.
And I went to go try and hit on her, but then her muscular boyfriend came over and asked me to take a picture with him. So
It happens, you know. Yeah. Speaking of muscular, you know him, WATP, you know him from the Creep Off and King Shit of Fuck Mountain. He's Karl. What's up, Karl?
Oh, I was a boner guy.
What is happening, Shuli and Christian? Good to see you guys.
Good to see you. We have some major news that we have to share with you guys. And
we interrupt our regularly scheduled program.
Wait a minute. We just got this in. Breaking news.
So it is confirmed in a public document that John, well, I'll let my frog attorney set it up, but he basically, long story short, he got rid of his ownership of the house to his mommy for $10.
Wow.
Yeah, that is right, Frog.
Yes, that is exactly correct.
Is that public information? Can I find that somewhere?
It 100% is. I'm going to take you through the document right now.
Beautiful.
So here's what it's called: a quit claim deed. And this is what you would see like in a divorce, for instance, like if, you know, she's keeping the house, say, so she would have to buy it from you for whatever amount.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where this kind of thing's normally used. But so this is him selling the house to his mother for $10.
So now the question is, why is he doing this? Well,
before we get to that, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
So you'll notice up at the top, it says prepared by John Melendez, and I'm going to prove to you conclusively that he definitely prepared this document. If you look down in the paragraph where it starts with grantor does hereby remise release, whatever, you see that part that's blurred out there?
Yeah.
Right above there. So that's the address, and he's supposed to list the county where the property is, and he says the county of California in the state of Florida. And then, by the way, lists his Canoga Park address. That's what's under that blur is his Canoga. So it's supposed to be the address in Cape Coral, but stupid lists the Canoga Park address. I think he's going to get this document back.
Well, right, Karl. He doesn't have a Canoga Park address. You are correct. So what address is he? I mean, he doesn't have residency in California.
Wow, this is incredible right here.
This is it. So Vince can't get it, the house, right? So that's the consensus of why he's doing this, which, you know, should let you know that I guess Vince isn't playing around. John, I understand, has put down a rather large chunk of change for an attorney. And I mean, you know how cheap he is. So this amount, is pissing him off.
So, but that money he's going to get back when he sues Kate Meany, though, right?
Sure. Well, all of us. It's not just Kate. Yeah. He's getting. I think he's going to sue us all and get like $75 from each of us. So hopefully it'll add up. But the county of California in the great state of Los Angeles.
Well, wait a minute, Karl. You have a place in Cape Coral. Is that California County, Florida, or
that's actually it's Lee County?
Okay. Yeah. So John might have made a mistake.
I think he made.
That's why pencils have erasers. Yeah. All right.
And again, for me, I circle back to this guy using yet another family member as a shield. His poor mother, all the harassment, all the abuse she takes, Look at the bullshit she's caught up in with this son of hers. Look at how much shit she has to deal with this guy.
And what's going to happen next? Because we know that when John was trying to sell his house that he couldn't afford anymore, he just stopped making mortgage payments on it.
Yeah.
So what's he going to do now that his name is not on anything attached to this house? Is he going to still pay the mortgage, or is he going to be like, Mom, I'm sorry, you got to get me this month. I got the attorney fees. I got all this stuff going on.
Super chats have been low, Ma.
Yeah, right.
You're in the chat. You see it, Ma.
Oh, no.
You know, he's like yelling at her.
What if OC has to file for bankruptcy?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, she's involved in all this shit. And it's like, how about just let her retire and live out the rest of her fucking life in peace and some sort of harmony, if that's possible.
This is crazy news. There's going to be a lot of speculation, I'm sure, about it. But one thing is for sure. John is so hard up for cash. He was on the show today talking to Adam Bush, and Adam Bush brought up, you could be leaning into this and making more money. And John's like, I'm all ears. What do you got for me? And Adam says, well, if you did IRL streaming and we actually had to see your life and your lifestyle all day long, no one's ever taught me how to do that. No one will show me how to do that. And thanks to Adam for correcting him. Actually, Elisa Jordana offered to help you with that. She drove hours to your house to show you how to do that. No, but she came in with the music. I said, he's got excuses. Dude, the excuses this week have been phenomenal, even by John standards.
Well, I saw somewhat of Adam's appearance on John's show. It was the quickest appearance of a guest I've ever seen. And it started with Adam comparing John to Eric the Midget, which I thought was phenomenal. He seems like a normal guy, and he pretty much knows John. So I think, Adam, if you're watching, jump on Rico tonight. Let's talk to you for a few minutes, man. Appreciate it.
Adam is a big fan of Uncle Rico and who are these podcasts and Tookie. And so I think that's why it didn't last very long. Even though he played saxophone in The Losers with John, has a long history with John, knew all this stuff. Like, John was fascinated by this until he found out that he's also a fan of the Dabbleverse. And then John was just so afraid of getting porn bombed the whole time. He was just white knuckling through the interview and then finally bailed on it. But let's talk about the ETM comparison.
Yeah.
What Adam was doing, and this has been broken down before, but I thought Adam did a brilliant job of doing this, was explaining how everyone was fascinated with Eric the Midget and just the way he would react to people, the way he'd react to fans. He was so entitled in everything that he did for some reason, and no one could figure out why, but he just thought he was a superstar. And the way John responded to Chrissy Mayer, he goes, that was your Eric the Midget moment that really made the Dabbleverse, because you responded exactly the way that Eric would have responded to that.
And he's 100% correct.
Yep.
And he bosses people around like Eric used to do. Johnny, you know what to do. Get on. Johnny's got a fucking newborn baby. He's in his 60s. He's got Eric calling him nonstop, going, do this for me, dude. Get me an RV.
Eric is just like John, whereas you can't be his friend. You have to be his helper.
Yeah.
Being a friend means, even with Adam today, immediately John's like, well, can you show me how to do this? Can you teach me everything about YouTube? And Adam's like, I don't know everything about YouTube. He's like, I'll text you after the show. I need help with everything in life.
I think Eric was so entitled because you know how those people are when they're born club-footed. They just think the world owes them everything.
You ain't kidding, brother. You ain't kidding.
What the fuck is going on right here? I thought we were friends.
I'm club-fucking-footed, you asswipe.
100%. At this point, DabbleCon 3 will feature Stud Joe getting boned by Lexington Steel. Yeah.
All right. That I'll make the flight for.
It's not going to be 75,000 either. It's going to be $75.
No, but there will be a horse blanket. That I can tell you. Hey, hashtag blind Mike was right. Yes. And more people need to get on that. Flood Twitter with that.
Oh, shit. You're right. He did sell the house.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that aspect of it. He's been talking about no one knows what they're talking about.
It was only 2 weeks after Mike said it would happen. So, his intel was a little outdated, but
Frog, what's the date on that document? Is it today's date?
It's not actually. It's July 23rd, I think.
Whoa! He's only a week off. That was a week. Less than a week. Holy shit. I got
7/23.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
Mike better be doing a fucking victory lap on Sunday morning on the Blind Mike Project. That's
Wow.
amazing.
He's going to be a little focused on the goal Sunday
I
morning.
know. I understand.
Okay, let's see here. New Dabbleverse shirts now on TeePublic. FYI, psyched to meet everyone in Rochester. Oh, and Karl, are you out about being a Kevin Cronin fan? Skull.
Am I out about being a Kevin Cronin fan? Who's Kevin Cronin?
Why does that name sound familiar?
REO Speedwagon or
That's
Boston or one of those bands.
REO
Oh,
Speedwagon.
yeah, that's
So
right.
Karl's doing such a good job being in the closet. He's like, "Oh, what band is that? I don't know."
My buddy Dabble Shirts there was recently at an REO Speedwagon show, and I asked him how Kevin sounded. That's right. I asked him if he could hit
good,
the
right?
notes still.
It seems like he still
He said he was
could.
pretty good. He said he was pretty good.
It takes a lot to impress Karl, by the way. So get your weight up, boys. Watching John and Rob had me so angry on a beautiful Friday afternoon. Thanks, guys. I needed this. Quick side note question here. Rob Saul, Clay Dabbler, gun to your head. If you have the Clay Leno, if you had to pick, let's say John had to have a permanent co-host from here on out. These are our candidates, boys, right now. Who do you pick and why?
I assume I can't choose the gun to my head. That's not the option. It has to be one of these guys. Well, Rob Saul is a zero and brings nothing, but I fucking hate Clay Dabbler so much that if there were ever a mishap where that mask, choked him, I'm going to have to say Rob Saul because it just keeps the level at the shit it's at. It doesn't drag it down the way Clay does.
Yeah. One thing I learned about Rob Saul this week was Rob was talking about my wife and goofing on me. I'm a loser and all this stuff. And then John goes, he plays a clip where I'm making fun of Kevin Brennan. And John goes, Karl's right about this. And Rob's like, yeah, I've never had a problem with Karl. He seemed to have it all figured out. Like, Rob Saul will just go with the fucking flow. He just floats with the wind on all things John's talking about.
Well, what's funny is like 2 shows ago, or the last time he was on with John brings up Brennan and Rob's like, I've always thought he was funny. He's like, I don't have a problem with it. And then Brennan goes on. He's like, Rob Saul's the biggest fucking loser out of all of them. And today he comes on and the first words out of his mouth is Kevin's wife's name.
Oh boy.
And like how she's doing stuff. And it's just right out the gate. And then John made him apologize. Not for I don't know if you saw the clip when he was left him alone to run his show.
I played it on WATP this week, yes.
Yeah, and so Rob got very vocal with the chat.
Gina Bobina specifically, he had an idea for what she should do with her life.
Yes, and it wasn't good. And so he starts to apologize for that. John's like, no, I don't care about that. He goes, those tweets you put out about Bob Levy's going to kick my ass. What, are you going to apologize for that?
How old are these tweets?
And Rob's like, you mean from a couple years ago? He's like, yeah. He goes, all right.
So, in other words, because we know how John operates, one of his guys,
Muttering Jay,
or the Legend, or Dabbling Dan, whatever.
Dabbling Dan,
yeah. Dirty Deeds. One of those guys messaged him and just goes, hey, just so you know, I don't know whose side this guy is on, but here are some tweets he's putting up. And so John had to reprimand him for it.
Yep. So my pick would be Clay Dabbler, and I'll tell you why. Because he's such a distraction. It breaks up from the repetitive, cycle of John being John and saying the telemarketing script every day and all that shit. Clay will constantly talk over him, that clanking of his fucking metal cup with the straw, rolling the cigarette, sticking he was jamming his finger in his smoke hole the other night. We couldn't stop watching it. I think it's another show on its own, and I think that plus Rob's accent is a million times worse than Clay's, in my opinion.
I would also pick Clay Dabbler for a couple of reasons. One is I love the other day. He's so impressed with himself being on the internet, like having this video on the internet. The other day, he had on the TV behind him their show, but just on a 5-second delay or whatever it was. Because he needs more of Clay Dabbler on the internet, so he puts himself behind himself. And John just like, do you have to do that? It's really distracting. Because John has to stare at himself too. He can't help it.
John seeing how fat he's getting.
Yeah,
He's like,
that's
"Can
how
you
we get
shut
to it."
that off, please?"
But
I
the
know
other
I'm
reason
leaving.
why I'd pick Clay Dabbler, and you're right about that, Shuli. Clay Dabbler fucks with John's head, fucks with his flow. John gets distracted very easily with Clay. But I also think there's a possibility that Clay is also playing John.
Again, I'll go down this road with you. We've
Yeah,
been down it
I know.
before with Quad, and I'll say again, okay, what's the end game?
I'm not saying he's good at it. I'm not saying he's a smart
gotcha.
guy, but I think he might be fucking with him. There was something that happened today that John had on that Adam Bush guy, and then just let him go. You know,
Right.
Adam didn't say he had to leave or anything. And John was like, all right, get out of here. And then John's sitting there and he goes, I wonder if Clay Dabbler will come on the show with me today. I'm going to send him a note. Clay, if you're here, you come on. And I saw in the chat, Clay just go, why don't you just do a John show today? Yeah. He's literally can't even get the listeners to come on the show with him anymore.
He goes, I'll pass. Thank you.
Yeah, he had better things to do than to be on the show with John today, which is telling, I think. I think Clay is starting to get over it a little bit.
You should have sent Penis Wrinkle the link.
Oh my
That'd be
God.
fantastic.
You got to admit, no one in the chat gets under John's skin like Penis Wrinkle. It's like he'll just start screaming at him, and it's amazing. It's great. Penis Wrinkle always tells he goes, I'll come over right now. He goes, do it. Let's go. Come on. Like he it's
He's
great.
an
I love
MVP.
it.
Is he coming to the Dabby Awards? Because
I hope so.
He might be featured in them.
He should be. He should be. Clay is gradually increasing the size of his mask hole to fit John's arm. That whatnot chaser's coming.
Increasing or decreasing?
He says increasing.
I
Yeah,
think it
that's
should be
true.
decreasing.
I think you're right. Punch that up in the back, boys. Jan. Hey, thank you for becoming a member again, my man. He's been here for a minute.
Behind my paywall.
He's trying to hide assets from Vince the lawyer, which, look, I don't think it's illegal to do that, but it's not a great look when you're shifting all this shit around while you're being sued.
Right. Yeah, that's
You
a
know
good
what I
point.
mean?
It's almost an admission of guilt right there.
Yeah.
John's so stupid, though. He always thought he was going to sue me for my house. I don't know anything about the law, and Vince will do a show saying that I'm an idiot, but I'm pretty sure John can't be sued out of his house for a tweet that he put up.
No.
I don't think that's the way the law works.
But if anybody would be sued out of his house,
that's
it'd
true.
be John
That's a good point.
for a tweet. Is this from a map to find his abandoned couch? No, it's not. No residency in California means no lawsuit, right? No more two-party law due to not being a resident in California.
There was no lawsuit either way. It's so
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, it's
When his
insane.
attorney explained to me that California law supersedes New York state law for this one incident, it's like, how do you figure? Go by population size? Electoral votes? What are we doing?
No, we looked into it. So that one incident was Frog, correct me if I'm wrong, this was a business that had offices all over the country, and one of the locations was California, and that's how they got it to stick, right?
Correct. Even though the calls were made from like a call center in Georgia, the company had a location in California. So the court ruled they were subject to California law.
So I brought it up. I brought that up to him because my Frog attorney already filled me in on it. And when I brought it up to him, he goes, "Look, I don't tell you how to do your thing. Don't tell me." I go, "Okay, I definitely touched a nerve there. I got it."
Well, a company is very different. So
Yeah.
How are they going to arrest Kate Meany? We don't even know where she is, do we?
Listen, it was a roll of the dice, hoping that we are as dumb as the guy that called him to help him. That's what it was.
Karl, I've heard you mention it. Has anybody ever pointed out to John the, two big recorded phone calls being in California, Donald Sterling and Mel Gibson? Has anybody said it to John though? And he's like, those are different.
I told John's attorney about that. I'm like, the Mel Gibson thing, they were both in LA when that happened. And yet for some reason, she made out, I've just learned about this recently. So the girlfriend who
Russian, right?
Yeah, who had the kid with Mel Gibson, who recorded those phone calls and really outed Mel. She turned down like a $15 million settlement from Mel Gibson. I think she thought she was going to bankroll it and parlay that into a whole career. Then she goes on Howard Stern and talked a lot about Mel Gibson, and it broke the NDA they had, and she lost half of the money she made from the divorce.
Wow.
So she ended up with almost nothing after that. Like she totally fucked it up. She botched everything.
That's like the guy who stole the Hulk Hogan sex tape from Bubba.
Right. Yes.
You know, when it was all said and done, I think he got like 15 grand after he had to pay all his lawyers and lost the lawsuit and lost his job and all that shit. All right, let's keep going here. I may be mistaken, but one, errors on a quitclaim invalidate it. Two, it's illegal to transfer assets after being sued. Great work, boys. Okay.
I wonder if that's true. That's interesting.
I didn't know if it's legal or not. Maybe it's a state-to-state thing. I don't know.
You can sell your house at any time, I would think. It's not like you have to keep your house because you're, being sued. I don't know.
Yeah. Whatnot Chaser. It was hilarious to watch John's face when Adam listed off all the Dabbleverse shows and how much he loves them. I can't wait.
That was great. So you and the losers with me, and you had your photo taken with Howard. That's cool. That's cool. Do you know about the Dabbleverse? Oh yeah, fuck yeah, man. Tookie's hilarious. Potato soup on Sundays and Mondays. I watch that. And who are these podcasts? John's just like,
I even watched Sunday Morning with OJ and Cardiff. That's how in I am.
Whoa, you got to get up at like 3 a.m. for that shit.
God damn it, Ditka. You got to vet these guests. What's wrong with you? It's illegal to transfer assets after you've been hit with a lawsuit. Right. And that's John Voight's LeBaron. So if anybody knows, he's been a member for 7 months. I got the Menendez parents had more pride in their kids. Oh, there goes one roast joke I had. No title company worth a damn would record that quitclaim deed. So Stuttering John may need that eraser he's so fond of.
Well, we were talking before the show started. You were telling us about that, Shuli, and I had to put it in terms that only I could understand. I was like, so this is like on Cheers when Sam bought the bar back for 85 cents because that's all the change he had. And I'm like, okay, so now I get it. Now I understand what John's trying to do.
Correct. In sitcom world, you're 100% dead on.
100%.
100%. Vito Calzone, 13 months. Hopefully the courts can freeze the assets. Well, if it's illegal to do this, that's really not good. It would be really funny if Asa passed and the house went back to John before he lost to Vince.
Oh. No. She's leaving the house to Danny DeVito, his sister. So there's no way John's in the will.
No more sleeping under bridges for you.
Eric the Midget used to correct grammar and word choice too. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Julie, were you ever in a room with Eric the Midget? Because I feel like he was probably not much shorter than John, right?
Not much. Not much. I have a full body shot of him. I'll send it to Sheet Shitterson. He'll do that whole logistics thing he did. We'll figure it out. It's not a huge difference, I'll tell you that. Club-fighted people are losers.
Oh, really? Whatnot chaser? Say that to my face.
If the judgment debtor transferred property just before the judgment for less than its fair market value, the judgment creditor might be able to get that transfer reversed as a fraudulent attempt to avoid collection.
So
I just looked it up. Go ahead. Sorry.
Is the property worth more than $10? I guess is the question then.
I don't
know. It's
arguable
because he's been living in it on and off for about a year, so it's worth a lot less than when he bought it.
I found the exact same thing that guy's referencing. It's actually a Florida statute, so this is specifically illegal in Florida.
Oh,
wow!
Thanks, DeSantis.
Yeah, and it's not some guy. It's Juan Hung Lo. Thank you. Appreciate it. Credit where credit's due. Had to join chat months of this shit. Thank you, Ricardo Montalbán. She's a papillon. Stuttering John hid his money from his kids. What a deadbeat. Salty rectum.
That's a weird thing, too. I know it's been discussed before, but John's been patting himself on the back for having these college funds and putting money away for the kids all this time. And now he's bragging about the fact that his son's going to Harvard on a free ride. So what's he doing with the college fund? Where is that money going? And also, I've seen a lot of people talk about how the way Harvard works, you pay what you can afford. So if you make less than $75,000 a year or something like that, then you can go for free. So it's not necessarily a scholarship. It's more that Harvard's like, well, you're smart enough to be here. We're not going to charge you. Your parents don't make any money.
Wow. So, but I heard a theory, a rumor that he blew through that money a while ago.
Well, he blew through the $110,000 that Jay gave him as a severance package when the Tonight Show ended. John decided to just be unemployed for a year and drink every day. So
yeah, Livin, brother. Rob Saul can't drive a car or a discussion. Discuss. Thank you. You ain't kidding.
What's more likely, that John went through the college fund, or just it never existed to begin with? I'm thinking the latter, but I want to know what you guys think.
Something had to exist. But that being said, this is the guy that, like you said, Karl, will just stop paying the fucking mortgage.
Right, yeah.
So like the decision, the thought process and the decisions he makes, it wouldn't shock me if there was never anything. It wouldn't shock me, you know?
He's bragged about it so many times, but that doesn't mean it's real. We've
Oh,
all
well,
heard about that.
I bought stock in the Pickwick pub 12 ounces at a time.
Right.
I have another breaking news story here.
We interrupt our regularly scheduled program.
Wait a minute. We just got this in. Breaking news. Breaking news.
Karl, you might have another case on your hands because according to John, it is illegal for you to show his grades and his transcripts. So he's going to reach out to why don't you reach out to the guy you just dropped a fuck ton of cash for? Why don't you reach out to him? Apparently he is not happy. He didn't care yesterday, but today he seems a little bit more bothered by it.
Okay, I wanted to hear about that because I've not seen him react to us exposing his transcript from high school. And a lot of revealing things in there. The fact that he had 0 A's in all of high school. I mean, you can't be a Mensa member. He's like, well, I don't really care that much. Yeah, but even if you're a brilliant person, you're going to be able to pass these classes. They're not difficult classes you're taking.
I think I had 2, and I quit.
Right, you dropped out.
Yeah.
Well, the tests weren't smart enough to capture John's intelligence, so that's why he did so poorly on them.
As crazy and ridiculous as what you just said was, I could hear it coming out of John's. But like today, he was like, I coasted through school. I didn't give anything because that's how smart I am. He goes, I didn't concentrate. I didn't do homework because I was that smart.
Well, and he made $3,000 for the Battle of the Bands, so he really didn't have to worry about his grades at all.
$10,000.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
$3,000 if you were in the band. That's the number he told you if you were in the band.
That's right. He was also he was also Colonel Tom Parker for that band.
I mean, so many revelations in that transcript. Of course, him drop out of music theory. Ironically,
you got an F in music theory. How about that?
Yeah,
and home ecky's really bad at too. Go figure. The fucking beer can chicken doesn't know how to cook a meal apparently.
I mean, it's so funny because the minute that it's brought up about his music theory failing, he starts comparing himself to the Van Halens, Wolfgang and Eddie.
Come on,
and
really?
It talks about how Wolfgang was failing music there, and Eddie came in and yelled. And it's like, guess what? If Eddie Van Halen comes in and yells at the professor, okay, that's one thing. If Asa Melendez comes in and yells at him, get the fuck out of here. You're not Eddie Van Halen. You're none of them.
Well, he also sucked at math, which I find to be hysterical because he's so proud of himself. He's like, you guys could never teach 7th grade algebra. I'm like, yeah, I could. It's really not that difficult, Chad. I know that you think it's difficult. Obviously, it was for you when you were younger, and it's probably still is now. And he also took a course called Personal Computers that he did very poorly at.
Oh, and you could tell from today's show, he's still doing poorly at it. He had a show that started for 30 seconds, and then he was gone for another half hour.
Yeah,
well, I'm sure you had to type in that class, so obviously he.
Oh, he took typing too.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Typing. How is that possible? He's doing one hand. One
yeah, you're right. I forgot. I was giving him too much credit.
Shuli, to your point today, he starts off the show. He's got an issue with his water system. By the way, I know all about this shit. I'm also on the same well. But he starts out with shit about his water system. And so he starts his show and then immediately puts it on mute and gets on the phone to talk to his water system guy. So it's like he's totally unprepared to do a show. We just watch him silently talk to someone. And then he comes back on and he just goes, oh, yeah, the guy forgot to turn the water back on. All right, well, then, John, you go turn the water back on. He didn't have the guy come back to his house to turn the water on.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think it's like some special fucking Rubik's Cube style puzzle you have to solve in order to figure out how to turn the water on?
You're saying the guy who didn't know how to work an electric razor is not capable of turning the water back on?
I can't imagine what that phone conversation was like. The guy just like, oh, yeah, no, I didn't turn it back on. But no, go ahead. It's just like, well, no, you got to turn it back on. I was like, I'm already across the... all right, fine. I'll be back later.
The guy I just paid to wash my car didn't lock the door, so he's coming back. He's going to lock it. He's going to lock it.
So, but then after that, which is hysterical, John says he wishes he was better technically. He wishes he could work his equipment better. And it just shows how lazy John is, because he has been given help like from every single person. And whether it's Hale Sparks or Elisa Jordana or any number of people who have told John how to run his stuff, what to do, how to prep, how to copy down links and be ready with a link if you want to show a video. And he always tunes out. He always ignores the advice. People start telling him like, hey, John, you know what you should do to make this better? And you can see he just starts like ignoring it, looking at the chat, and can't be bothered with it. John, don't just wish you were better. Get better. There are people who will help you.
Again, he has said many times he doesn't care about the Dabbleverse or anybody in it. And that is honest, John, for a change. That he's not bullshitting there. Chilino, Shuli, can you ask the older gentleman on the bottom to leave the room and not come back in? Thanks.
Yeah, right. Christian, we can hear you just fine. So could you
could you go out and not come back in? Karl, I need your and producer Chris's t-shirt sizes.
XLs, please.
Really?
Thank you.
Really, Chinaman's wallet? Really? Okay.
Like I'm not here.
We're friends.
A house in New York and Florida. Awesome Bezos over here. Yeah. Diablo sandwich. Thank you. Salty Rectum, Josh and Kim Johnson now in Cape Coral. Let's go. They're going to buy that fucking house.
Awesome.
John's water got shut off today. Oof.
Well, the other thing too about the water system, it's not good. It's not good water down there. We had to get a reverse osmosis system put in, which makes it amazing. But John can't afford that, so he's got to say he's got to treat it. You know, remember when he rode his bike and he had to put like 80 pounds of salt on his bike and drive it back? Probably doing a wheelie the entire way back. So he's got to treat his water with salt on a regular basis, which is something that he should be doing. But he has to call someone over to do that. And then he can't figure out how to turn the water back on. He's a miracle.
So I have an attorney friend who sent me something. He says there is something called a TRO, temporary restraining order. If the sale is still pending because John fucked up the application, Vince might have a chance to prevent the sale entirely. So,
well, this is getting interesting. I got to say, there's two things that I can say for certain. And that is that politics in this country has never been more interesting than it is right now. And Stuttering John Melendez, the Dabbleverse, has never been more interesting than it is now. And I always thought, oh, that's the peak. Oh, that's the peak. The cross-country trip, I was like, holy shit, this is the peak. We can't get more interesting than this. And now with this lawsuit and John selling his house.
I mean, imagine the first.
I was just going to go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, go. No.
The new writers they brought in mid-season on the Stuttering John show, so much better than the writers they had last year. And,
they're changing it up. I like it.
Wait till the finale where he's just walking out of the house. They lock it. The sheriffs lock it up, and it's just him and 30 pounds of salt on his back, walking away.
He's trudging to the next town, like at the end of the old Incredible Hulk show with that sad music. He's just bringing his salt somewhere they might need salt.
I'm gonna sell it. Somebody around here needs salt.
It's gonna be like at the end of The Jerk, where he's just like, I just need my remote control and my electric razor and my dog. I don't need my dog.
Get super tips, J Word. Hi, Karl and other guy. Tookie World Order, KFT. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah, super tip system is awesome.
Tookie World Order. TWO.
Frog, please look up fraudulent conveyance.
Also, I should mention real quick, tomorrow on Who Are These Podcasts, Tookie is going to be our guest on the show tomorrow. Producer Chris, me, and Tookie.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of hacka for sure.
Love it.
On WATP tomorrow. If you want to watch it live, you can do that behind our paywall on YouTube or Patreon. If you want to listen to it for free on our Discord, anyone can join our Discord server. Links at whoarethese.com.
And if you want to watch WATP live, Tookie and Uncle Rico, there's only one place you're going to go to see that, and that is Rochester, New York, Comedy at the Carlson for DabbleCon 2, baby. August 16th, 17th, 18th, the entire weekend. Come on down and join the fun.
I feel like I'm going to get a bunch of messages from Cardiff if I don't point out the potato soup will also be a part of that. He's going to be like, "Why didn't you stand up?"
We're trying to sell tickets here. Fucking guy. Sunday we're doing a brunch at Radio Social, and I think Vinny's emailing everyone who's bought tickets and will buy tickets if they want to RSVP for that. So just so we know how many people are going to be there, but I'll be there. I hope the Uncle Rico boys can come down to that too.
I think so. I'm not 100% sure when everybody's heading out, but we'll definitely listen. We're looking forward to sleeping very little and partying a lot with all of you and having a blast. You got the roast Friday night, followed by the karaoke. You got shows all day Saturday leading into the evening where we put on the second annual Dabbies. It is completed. All the categories, all the nominees. We are ready to fucking go.
Who is going to take home the Covenant Dabby Award?
Look at that beauty. Look at that beauty. And then we'll have the dance party afterwards, and we're just going to hang, and it's just going to be the Dabbleverse. Everything you've ever wondered about the Dabbleverse, all your questions will be answered, and the couch cushions will be there.
Upstairs in my foyer as we speak.
Wow.
My wife was not happy that those got shipped to my house. I got to get those over to the club ASAP.
Yeah. But, I love when guys are like, my wife's not thrilled that we're going. I'm like, none of our wives are thrilled that we're involved in any of this shit.
No, she loves being part of the Dabbleverse. She just doesn't like that John's couch cushions are in her house right now.
I can't blame
What are the plans for the couch cushions after DabbleCon? I got a note that JD Vance would like me to send it to his house.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Okay, great.
Fuck 'em.
I was just thinking like a nice kumbaya type bonfire in the back.
I had a guy reach out to me. He wants the couch cushions. He's going to have John cloned.
Wow.
So we just need to get John's DNA. We can make multiple Johns. Which would be
all of a sudden, it's a room full of blob fishes. whatever he scraped off, it had some new species attached to it. Sale was the real reason he avoided the process server.
Oh, interesting. He was just trying to buy himself some time.
Oh, Shmuel.
That's interesting.
If anybody knows, it's a guy named Shmuel. I'll tell you that. That's one thing I've learned throughout the years.
You know who else is going to be at DabbleCon 2 is our boy Lockie.
Yes,
Lockie's putting together some really cool shit. Like he's got these stand-up things where you can get your photos taken. I saw them today. They're hilarious. They're going to be great.
And I believe he made a cornhole thing that is dedicated to John. And this guy's a legit brilliant artist. Yeah. He's bringing his tattooing shit too, his gear. So I think people might be able to get some tattoos.
How many Tookie tattoos are we going to see this weekend?
Listen, I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
From today.
Yes. Get your clock is ticking. Yeah. BSShowLive.com, CarlsonComedy.com, or WATPLive.com.
Yeah, you're going to want to dance with us to songs like this.
Bloody ass. Can I get a little sympathy? Because I got a bloody ass.
Should be fun. Should be a good time.
Love that. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. Come on out, join us. It'll be a great weekend. Kasigi, is that it? Kasigi? Member for 8 months. Thank you. I feel like it's an attempt to say, see, I have no real assets, so I can't pay you. The dumb fuck has already taken the loss.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right about that.
Interesting.
What's he going to do with all his Chinese coffee stock?
Vince's Chinese coffee stock?
Yeah, Vince, you're the proud owner of a shit fucking stock now. I'm an attorney.
He is an
That
attorney.
quit claim deed on its face is invalid. Moreover, cannot transfer assets in an effort to avoid a civil judgment. Only Stuttering John could be this stupid.
Only John.
Only John. That's why he's the best. No service, no suit was what Stuttering John thought. Wow.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. You don't have to answer the door to get served. Wow. Mean Gene dropping 20 gifted memberships. Come on.
I swallow cum.
Thank me.
100%.
Even Jackie Martling jerked off 2 dicks today. I don't know who the fuck you two think you are, but the next time
when I was watching, Jackie refused to do it, so I was doing it out of solidarity for Jackie. You must have worn him down by the
you weren't in the room later when he was like, he was in heaven. It's just a verification test. All you idiots.
That makes sense. That's probably true.
DJ, I'm betting the college funds never existed. Stuttering John bought a house he really couldn't afford, then proceeded to have his salary slashed year after year. Correct.
That's true.
That is a great point.
Hey, Shuli.
Yeah.
Can I throw another topic out there for you?
Yeah. Oh, but on a side note, you have clips of somebody bringing up the sale from today's show of his house?
I do actually, yes.
Ooh.
Can we see those real quick and then throw out the other topic? Give this guy one show, all of a sudden he's throwing out topics. You see the fucking problem I have
He's
here?
interrupting us to tell us what to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
Fucking Charlie Rose over there.
Of course, penis wrinkle.
Why did you sell your house to your mommy for $10? Why did I sell my house to my mommy? What do you mean?
I'm not even
on this house.
Carl,
This is John's buying time thing.
Impression. Do that again. Do it again. Do it again.
Why am I selling my house for time? Oh, yeah, that thing. Yeah, right. He's such an idiot. He has to buy himself so much time.
Yeah, and he starts talking like he can't speak English. All of a sudden he goes, buy house. I don't even know what that means. He goes,
That's how you know it's true when he ever responds to a question that way.
go ahead.
Peaches. Thanks
Oh.
for
That was it.
Huh?
That was
No,
all
that was-
for that one. Give me one more.
Denied it? Okay.
Yeah. There's one more chat
What are you
that came
talking
in,
about, penis?
because
Doesn't
this
even
one
makes sense.
is the very telling one. Now remember, this is like a minute or 2 minutes apart from the last chat, right?
Okay.
And check it out.
Yeah.
Legal to sell your home to mom, tenant being sued? No comment. No comment.
What
That's
an idiot!
DJ, thanks for the.
No comment would have been better than no comment.
Right. Well, I mentioned this when I talked to John's attorney. He answered with the question, no comment, twice. One was, what's it like working with John Melendez? To which he answered no comment. And the other one was, what do you think about this $12.5 million lawsuit coming in from Vincent Bessie? To which he answered no comment. I said, you know about this, right? He goes, no comment. And it's funny, I was talking to Lucy Tightbox, who works at with attorneys, and she goes, yeah, they're actually taught not to ever say no comment because no comment is a comment.
Yeah. No comment is a very big comment.
Yeah, it's a very big comment.
Lady K, I need to drop my cats at your house for DabbleCon. Make sure you feed them good, expensive food. Love the show, guys.
Leftover pizza, you got it.
Johnny Bukaki, 11-month member. Thank you, Johnny. He'll have plenty of water because Hurricane Debbie is coming to Cape Coral this Sunday. Dire Wolf. He's got a hurricane coming, huh?
Sweet.
Stuttering John didn't sell anything. He shielded himself. He's broke.
Right.
Yeah. No one's arguing that. John's planning to live on his boat with his Labrador.
That's right. Yeah, what's going to happen with the boat he's going to buy? He probably just spent all his boat money on attorneys. God damn it. That sucks.
What's your topic, Frog, that you so rudely interrupted?
His awful keychains.
Oh,
yeah,
my
I do want. I have that
God.
in my notes too. I want to talk about that.
You could talk about it for a second because I got to grab something. I got some keychains that we didn't order.
Oh, all right. Yeah, all right. I want to see that. So, Christian Frog, there's a couple different theories going out there about the keychain debacle. Now, a very smug and arrogant Patrick Melton blew up my phone the other day going, none of you guys are fucking realizing what this is. You guys are all so stupid. John obviously got blank keychains, and printed from a computer printer, this dumb little line of text, and then scotch taped it onto the keychain. That's why he's holding it the way that he's holding it. And you can see where the white is a different color behind the letters than the rest of the keychain. And you can see where there's a little bubble in the tape. And he's going on and on about this. I'm like, listen, dummy, it's 360p resolution. You can't really see anything that's going on when John's holding something up to the camera. And I believe, so that's Patrick Melton's theory. He could be right. He's been right about things before. I think that those are the keychains. He got a whole box of them. That is what they all look like. This guy has been trolling John since day one. And it's a fantastic fucking troll.
Yeah, I think Melton's right about how they were printed, but I
true,
saw you
right?
talking about this on WATP. And yeah, it's like this guy clearly knew who John was. He was aware of all this. And he's like, I'm going to troll him as long as I can. All right, here's your keychains, knowing that they look like complete garbage.
Someone in our subreddit had a brilliant idea to make WATP t-shirts. It's just all white with just a tiny little text in the middle. Tonight's show 10-year reunion May 7th.
I love that. Hey, this is I got a bag of these keychains.
Someone just sent those to you?
Yeah, the Tonight Show.
That's fantastic.
Did you see this? Did you see these keychains?
So it's not that hard to do, apparently. Okay.
No, we're gonna have a few to give away over at DabbleCon. So yeah, and
if we hit the goal, we'll send you guys one.
Don't give their real name, but do we know who sent them, Frog?
We do, yes. We've told them how crazy they were for doing that, and we thanked them.
Yes, thank you very much for that. Please don't mail shit to my house. Thank you. Yes, the keychains. What do you think is going to be on an awful scale? What do you think's taken first place? The keychain or this tattoo when we finally see it?
Oh, wait, what's the tattoo thing? Because that can't be what the stain was. When you get a new tattoo, they put shit over it.
Yeah.
They don't just let you bleed through your fucking shirt.
Yeah. I mean, I think they do if you get it in a parking lot and like the back of a truck.
Yes.
I think they don't really tend to
Donnie's discount tattoos, right?
Yeah, they don't Neosporin, they're gone the next day. You know, the tattoo shop's gone. That's never a good sign.
Here's a question. Let's say John did get a legit real tattoo on his arm recently.
Yeah.
What's the record for the span of time a human goes through between tattoos? Because I don't know when the last time he got a tattoo was, but he's 58 years old, almost 59, and now he decides he's got to get a new tattoo on his arm?
So I don't know where I saw it. It may have been on Dabblers. It may have been on X, but somebody posted an old podcast episode from John, maybe 2016, where John describes the next tattoo he wants to get.
Okay.
And he describes it's a Japanese demon cutting its tongue out with an upside down tree, which the bottom of that tattoo, if we have a picture, kind of looks like a weird, like, I don't know, vegetation or of some sort. Maybe it could be that tree. Then I saw in the chat that people were claiming that Clay Dabbler revealed that his tattoo is a lion, which if you look at the bottom of that tattoo, it could be that too.
Wait. Do you think he's telling a fib? You think he's lying or something?
His tattoos not truth? Wait.
Oh, wait, you don't even know what you just said. You don't even know.
Home run, Cumia, home run. That ain't funny.
He got a tattoo of himself. It's a liar.
Yeah, liar. He's like Boogie. He just got the word liar tattooed on his body. So,
I'm convinced the tattoo somewhere in it has the words "the Duke" in it. Like if it is a lion, it's like in the mane. It says the Duke.
That's another theory. The Duke is involved in there. Guys, somebody said, "Yeah, what do you got?"
I have breaking news right now.
Break it. Let's hold on. You want the thing?
I need a sounder.
Yep, coming right up. Here we go.
We interrupt our regularly scheduled program.
Wait a minute. We just got this in. Breaking news.
What do you got?
This in from Vince Imbesi, attorney at law, says, just saw the quitclaim deed by making a fraudulent conveyance. We can now add Mrs. Melendez to the lawsuit for real. What's crazy is Florida is so amazing. In legally protected assets, he is allowed to hide assets in his Florida homestead as soon as he becomes a resident. By conveying it to his mom, he is subject to her liability.
Oh,
yes. John's residence is subject to judgments, except if he establishes residency in Florida and claims it is a homestead. Dopey did the exact opposite. It's not a criminal act to sell assets when you are aware of potential legal claim, but we can seek to attach any asset he fraudulently conveyed. Google fraudulent conveyance.
Wow. Oh, no.
So did John make the exact wrong move, and now Osa's going to be fucking in court going, I don't know what this is about.
What's the right move for John? Because John will be fine. It's his mom who's going to get screwed.
It's like they tell you, it's like, whatever you do, don't do this. He did that. He did that. Oh, my God. Well, you're welcome, Vince, you prick. There you go.
It says it right here. In a case of fraudulent conveyance, the creditor may bring a lawsuit to void the transfer. He's getting himself in I'm sure that Vince doesn't have a lot of resources, though, to keep suing him over all sorts of things, right?
What do you think? The guy hasn't been an attorney in 37 years. What are you talking about? All his connections are dried up.
Jesus.
John wants to IRL. He can't even keep his mic on talking to the water people. Andrew and I will see everyone there. That's a great point. Like the water thing is IRL shit, right? That's the people who do IRL and make money doing it hide nothing. They actually plan stuff.
Right. Andy Dick isn't like blowing 3 lines out some dude's penis. He's just like, oh, wait, my accountant is calling. Turn it off. I got to talk to them about filing my taxes.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. The one person came to help him to make money doing IRL, and he called the cops on him.
Right. Well, the other thing that happened today is he's on with Adam Bush, and then the screen goes black, and it's silent. And I'm like, oh, what just happened? Did his internet go out, or what's going on? No, he got a phone call from his attorney and had to take it. And again, didn't allow any of us to hear any of it.
Oof. When Stuttering John first got the Tonight Show job, his wife probably started a college fund account that never saw another deposit. His biggest lies always have a nugget of extremely exaggerated truth. Great point, Clyde.
Yeah, Clyde, that is a great point because, yes, you can always trace back John's lies because there is something to it.
Yeah.
Were you a writer on the Howard Stern show? No, but I wrote a note to Howard once.
Right.
In the computer system. I do. We can keep doing some super chats. I do want to talk about Jackie, obviously, the interview with Christian earlier in the week, and then this morning on BS.
That was a great interview, Christian, first of all. That was fantastic. And, I texted Jackie the other night, and I was just like, hey, you were really great on the podcast. And I told him, I said, we do the John stuff, but we do a different show. We don't have to talk about John. I can't promise you the chatters won't, send in stuff, but come on and fuck around. And he's always been a good dude like that, and I thought he was great today.
Yeah, no, I think he was great with you guys. He was on for like more than an hour with you guys, right? And
he did 2 hours. He did 2 hours with us.
And that was just one story.
I was going to say, he told 2 stories in those 2 hours.
This fucking guy.
By the way, the name of his show when it comes to TSN, I forgot what I was talking about. That's the name of his show because that happened about 17 times today, which was great.
Well, it was the second time I talked to him on Who Are These Broadcasters, and both times I was like, look, we don't have to talk about John, but I told him, I'm like, well, there's stuff in the chat. I'll read it after you're gone. It's okay. You don't have to see it. And I said, after the third time I said that, he's like, no, it's fine. You can read it. I'm like, all right.
That was good reverse psychology. It's like, you won't be able to handle this stuff, Jack. It's for big boy. This is big boy stuff. We're going to be reading. Just like, I'm a big boy. I can handle big boys. All right, here we go.
And unfortunately, John took down the clip, but Cardiff was telling Karl on WATP that he watched where the super chatter said, Jackie, who's funnier, Shuli or Stuttering John? And he said, it's not even a question. And John's like, thank you, Jackie. That was very kind.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that was
he's literally the only person who thought he was saying John.
All right, so my favorite part about that, Christian, is the question came from the super chatter. What's the best joke that John ever wrote for Howard? And Jackie's response was, you've stumped the joke, man. Send me your address and I'll mail you on a shirt.
And that was our buddy, Reverend Shitstain. I hope he writes in for the t-shirt. I love Reverend Shitstain.
That was fantastic. And let's talk about this real quick because I talked to Casey Armstrong about this. John claiming that he was a writer for the Howard Stern show, and the question was asked of Jackie. And Jackie is a diplomat when it comes to this. He's not trying to ruffle any feathers. He's just trying to get along to get along. And so when it's asked, was Stuttering John a writer on the Howard Stern show? Jackie thought about it for a second, and he goes, I guess I didn't realize when John was answering the phones and stuff, he could type in notes to Howard about the person on the phone. And so, in a way, yeah, I guess John was writing, and maybe Howard read the stuff that he wrote. All that does is confirm that John was never in a writer's meeting.
Never.
Jackie would have said it. Just like, oh yeah, there were times we pulled John in, and me and Fred and Howard, and we'd talk about questions for the, or a bit we were going to do. He didn't say that at all. So Jackie's come around to the fact, like, well, I'm not trying to get into a fight with John. So if he says he wrote for Howard, whatever, is basically how Jackie answered that question, which proves John didn't write for Howard.
Right. And there's a big difference between a pitch meeting and a writer's meeting, right? And the pitch meetings, Howard, for example, it's Sirius, let everybody into that pitch meeting, from interns to Howard TV to the Howard 100 News, anyone that wanted to come. It was a meeting where Gary, Will, Jason, they basically all would pitch different guests that want to come in. And if you had an idea, because a lot of the guests were not on Howard's radar, so he wanted other people's input as to like, okay, I don't know who this person is. And then they go, well, you should really have him on because blah, 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 blah. And maybe we can do this. And shit starts getting pitched, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is that John was a writer in the same way Steve Brandano was a writer.
No, Steve Brandano was more of a writer than John ever will be.
An even better answer that I was hoping for.
Yeah. No, listen, a writing meeting is when you are assigned something to write, when there is a project that you're in charge of that you have to put together, whether it's a prank call, whether it's an interview, whatever it is, it's half pitch meeting, but it's a writer's meeting. Now it's your baby. You go deal with this. Have it ready for this date. Here's your deadline. Go. John would never survive with those, rules.
Yeah, definitely not. And remember, for people who are getting into the Dabbleverse, don't really know all the Howard Stern lore, Jackie was the head writer for a lot of this time. So if John was writing for the show, the head writer would know about it. He'd be the first person that was writing for the show.
Yeah. 100%, as they
Julie,
say.
Was drinking allowed in these writer meetings, or was it frowned upon?
It was frowned upon. So
there's no way John ever attended a single one. That's why I wanted to know.
Yet another obstacle the man would have to deal with. Maybe we'll get lucky and Lee County will have to evict Stuttering John live on patrol.
Yes. Yes. There's a lot of good cop cam footage that comes from
Special
Lee County.
Carl's cop cat of John being evicted.
I could just see Vince going down to Cape Coral and finding the hottest chick who does the fight back segment for the news out there and bringing her to John's home to do a fight back segment. It'd be great. Matthew, just an FYI, that transfer to his mother is probably protected from the lawsuit, but it's probably a fraudulent transfer and won't work. Yes, Matthew, we are learning that he made the absolute most idiotic move possible. Okay, I'm not finding Cumia's book link on your Discord. Oh, Karl, he wants.
It's on my Patreon. You
gotta give Karl $5, and then you'll get Cumia's book for free. The same way I got it for free.
J-Dad found out for sure today. I'm not gonna have a way to get to DabbleCon 2. Shuli, what's your email? I'd like to buy some merch for like a keychain and some stuff. DM me, J-Dad, or email the frog, the Uncle Rico Show pod at gmail.com. I got you. Let's see what you need. Let's see what you need to get there, man. Hey, great to see Jim Cornette on the show. I agree, Rob. Thank you. Fuck you. Pay me. Do we know what happened to Stuttering John's cats? I hope they are in a better place with someone who isn't such an irresponsible piece of shit. Hitman Hi-Fi. Thank you.
It's a great question. Have we heard the cats at all in Florida? Or do they stay in New York with
where is North Shore Animal League compared to his mom's house?
They have a branch in Long Island.
Okay. So, right. I think we know where they are then. Oh. Beth's going to have to rescue them, and those cats are going to end up living at Howard's house.
No, that
likes kittens.
Well, but that whole fucking
Howard.
That whole location there is basically paid for by Howard and Beth, I imagine. Right. You know, the Long Island one.
Wait a minute. We
Oh.
just got this in. The breaking news. Breaking news.
Man, what a busy day. What do you got?
So he must have had a conversation with that guy from earlier because John's channel is live again. It's just a black screen, but the rewind is turned off. So I assume he's testing that feature.
Oh my
Oh, you
god.
talked to Adam Bush. That was his big thing. He wanted to do is turn off the rewind.
Yeah, okay, great. Turn it off.
He
It
thinks
makes
that's
no
gonna
difference.
stop us.
It makes no difference whatsoever. It's like when he put the music bed
Right.
underneath his show. That lasted 3 days. You know, did nothing. Hey, Karl, do you call that a haircut? Says Ohio by guy.
At one point, yeah.
Here's $10 to see if Asa wants to make a deal. Take down DDT. Thank you. John's ear mites. Really considering making the trip to DabbleCon too. Pretty sure Aunt Becky and the cousins migrated over on the couch cushions. You should come down. Why not? We need some ear mites down there. Chinaman's wallet gifting a dime. Let's go, buddy. Come on. I'll do it. Come on. I ain't afraid. Play it, frog.
I swallow cum.
Thank me.
And the show has reached a new low.
Well, you made me look like a fool, frog. You idiot. I'm with stupid about the keychains. I've only seen John show one of them. How do we know that he actually ordered a bunch of them and just not one?
That's one of the things that Patrick Melton says. He goes, I think that he's got a whole box full of blank keychains sitting next to him. He only showed that one. He was very delicate about how he showed it and then put it
That
back.
would make sense that he's offering to autograph them because with the writing, you can't fit an autograph on there. There just isn't much space.
And Karl, I think you were the one who said that people, or maybe Cardiff said it, if you super chat him $10 or more, he'll send you a keychain.
20.
20. Oh, well, there goes that.
20.
Forget it. I
Yeah.
don't want one that badly.
No.
Not worth it.
Well, think about it this way. You're paying $20 for something that costs a fucking quarter, and you're giving him your address to mail you shit. So
yeah,
hope that keychain's worth it, fuckers.
He's not going to weaponize that information, is he?
Well, I was going to have my keychain sent to Carl's house. So, yeah, you know what? I'll just forget the whole thing.
Marks on keychain from the casting of cheap plastic keychains, says Salty Rectum. There you go. Shuli, please add super tips with AI, Joey C, and Pops.
Oh, Pops.
Just send me a super chat and write as Joey C, and I'll read it. It's just that easy. Love you guys. FSJ, FRS. Oh, hi, Frog.
Oh, hi, Restless Tom.
Gizamundo. Gizamundo. He's a legend. Get your shit together. I RSVP'd for brunch. I'm going to drink 14 mimosas.
All right. Well, I don't know. We didn't watch you there.
Stuttering John Tattoo reads world's best dad. See that shit, Waya and Lady K are wrong. My kids love me.
That'd be an amazing troll on us if we did that.
Just got here. What's with the stupid hat?
That's my hairstyle, sir. How dare you?
John was served at Asa's house on 7/12 at 7:58 a.m. and a copy of the docs was mailed to Asa's house on 7/17. Would you like me to send a copy to you? I mean, that's up to you. I don't know what your day is like, but I'm good. I'm sure Vince will bring it all up and, highlight stuff. Woke Edward Lover, thank you. I bought my VIP pass before Sunday was a thing. Will I be able to attend?
Oh yeah, Sunday's free. We're just doing a brunch. Everyone take care of themselves. Order your own food, but we're gonna have a whole section just for Dabbleverse people.
Are you sure? I heard a rumor that Vinny was going to pay for everything on Sunday. Is that not accurate?
Oh, is that true? That could be true.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, pretty
let's,
sure I heard
let's
that's
start that rumor.
Okay.
I heard he's paying for his food, which is equivalent to everything.
Yeah,
Vinny Carlino.
Another rumor that's going around, gentlemen, is that one John Melendez and one Dabbling Dan are on the outs.
I haven't heard him bring him up this week.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Bob, is you don't hear him bring him up anymore a lot. And it seems like Ditka has now moved into that top spot, if you will. So, yeah, that's the rumor. And I've publicly said, Dabbling Dan, you have a home here. You're more than welcome to come on and share with us the hard work that goes into being John's friend. We know it ain't easy.
Well, I still like the idea that Dabbling Dan is just a fragment of John's imagination.
Oh, the Tyler Durden of the Dabbleverse.
I love that theory that the guy does not even really exist, and John's just talking to himself for 5 hours on a drive.
I love that. I love that. What do you think? Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. He's doing the whole fucking thing.
Right.
He's just sitting there with Bruce Willis's ghost the whole time.
I mean, and again, he's setting himself up for the same exact thing that happened with Kate, which is he's meeting these strangers. These are strangers. You don't know them. They know you from a show, and you're just blabbing everything to them.
Yep.
And that always blows up in his face. Always. So
interesting choice of phrase, because I was going to say I feel like the one difference between Dabbling Dan and Kate Meany is that John never jerked off while he was on the phone with Dabbling Dan.
We don't know that for sure. I mean,
You're
they
right.
were on the phone for like 5 hours. So it could have been a slow build, you know? Roy and Joyce are going to be pissed at John's and Asa. Oh, because now, I see. Right. Because now the home
Now she
in
has to pay
Florida.
for the house.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Again, you know, I've always said to friends of John or people that think they want to help him or be a part of his, he doesn't give a fuck about his family. Pick one. He doesn't give a fuck about any of them.
Right.
What makes you think he's going to give a shit about you? So, you know, I guess it depends how much you donate. The keychain guy is clearly a troll. He would text John mid-show about the keychains to get his reaction on the air. That banner was also obnoxiously tiny. He works for a Fortune 500 keychain company.
Yeah, no, he was a troll all along, which is hilarious. That's how you do it right there.
Yes.
He made it a storyline for months, and there was a payoff. That's how you do it.
That's as close to the best WWE storyline shit as you're going to get.
Yep.
It took months, and there was a fucking payoff.
Fantastic.
And not only was there a payoff, but John still wouldn't shit on the guy. He was still treating him with kid gloves, you know, where he's like, I know he's very sensitive, and I don't want to say.
What's the guy's name? Keith Chains?
Keith Chains, yes.
Not suspicious at all, yeah.
And at least the guy paid for it himself. So, you know.
That's how you do it.
Good for him. How is it Stuttering John's siblings have not protected Asa? You know
John
what?
bullies his family. John treats everyone. He's always the celebrity. I've gotten some inside information about how John operates. It's crazy. He refers to himself as Stuttering John even at family functions. Like, this guy is always the biggest deal in the room, and everyone needs to kiss his ass because he's the big celebrity. That's how he lives his life. This is not an act that he does for the internet. I, for a long time, thought it was. It's not. This is who he is.
You know, you brought up Jackie, and I wanted to bring this up because before we even had Jackie on, John went on his show and said he had an amazing conversation with Scott Salem.
Okay.
And
it's never happened to anyone ever, but okay.
he goes, Scott is so funny. And I go, no, that's the first time those words have been put together into a sentence. And
was he trying out his new bedbug character with John or something?
Well, here, Bailey, let me tell you something. There wasn't a writers' meeting that we didn't pitch a Bailey the bedbug bit. Every meeting we pitched, one of us would pitch it, and somebody go, "Come on, seriously, we got work to do. Focus." But so he goes, Scott's hilarious. He goes, he told me the funniest story, and then proceeds to tell us. He goes, I asked him if it was okay. He said, I don't care. Then proceeds to tell a story that he's told before. He's such a fucking drunk and a mess that Scott brings up a story that he's told before, and he goes, Scott just dropped a bombshell on me. Wait till you guys hear this. I swear to you, I've heard this story before. He added a lot of details to it, but the long story short, Scott wanted free tickets to one of Jackie's show. Jackie said, I don't have free tickets to give out.
Oh, this fucking story's insane.
Yes, and then so the next time Jackie came to town, Scott paid for the tickets himself. Now, if your friend's a comedian and you ask for free tickets and they say no, they're not your friend. I hate to break it to you. You know, sometimes it's a venue thing. Sometimes Who knows? Maybe it's coming out of their pocket and they don't want to deal with it. I don't know. But
Or maybe it's sold out.
maybe it's sold out.
Sure, why not?
Right? But long story short, he buys a ticket to the show, goes to the show, and according to John, this is what Scott told him, that while Jackie's on stage, he starts heckling him from the audience. You suck, you're a hack, tell jokes, write jokes.
When John was telling the story, he told it twice on the same show because then when his guest came on, I had to retell it again. When John was telling the story, he's going, how funny is this? Scott's heckling him and ruining his entire act in front of the entire crowd. So he's actually ruining the show for everyone who paid tickets to be there and see Jackie. He's ruining it for Jackie. And John can't contain himself. He's laughing so hard at what this might look like. Meanwhile, John did a stand-up show in LA where people were heckling him. And they had to hold John back from running out into the crowd to go after these guys. He was so fucking pissed at them. It was an Artie show that he begged to get on.
The headliner's on stage and John is going up into the balcony to fight people while Artie's on stage.
So isn't that incredible that when it happens to someone else, and this is actually in my notes, I wanted to talk about like John's personality trait, that he roots for other people to fail as if that's going to help him succeed. There's a couple people like that I've seen, Kevin Brennan, Chad Zumach. There's people who think that like if someone else is failing, that's good for them. It's not. Jackie getting heckled by Scott is not a good thing for you, and it's not funny. It's not funny to ever heckle a comedian.
Didn't John recently heckle, didn't somebody do a comedy show at that AC get-together that KB put together? Was it like Zumach or somebody?
Oh.
I vaguely remember like John recently talking about how he's like, oh, but it was fun. Everybody was having a good time, except of course.
I'll explain what John did because John's such a mensch. So what happened was Chad booked this, or I don't know who booked it. I think from what I've heard, like Chad booked this venue to do a comedy show and never realized they needed to like have sound, and because it's not like a comedy club. So they didn't have sound. They didn't have anything. They didn't have a microphone. So they scrambled something together at the last minute, and it was very quiet. People in the room couldn't hear the comic. And so John's big move was he stood up and told everyone to shut up so they can listen to the comedy.
He was the hero of that
He was the hero of that. And
He
then they
white
picked
knighted
John
Chad
up-
Zumach.
They picked John up on their shoulders and they carried him out yelling, "Long live the Duke." It was crazy.
I mean, he never disappoints, that Johnny. But again, the fact that, and he said, and I have other stories that Scott told me, but I'll wait for those.
All right. Yeah. It's tease something, John. Thanks.
Well, if he's waiting, then you know what that means. He'll forget it. He won't remember it by next week,
So on the show today, John was going back to the thing where he's looking at the Shuli Network Patreon.
Okay.
And he sees the numbers going down and he's relishing in it. And he's just like, ha ha, these losers. That's why Shuli has a day job. They have no money. This is great. And then someone put in the super chat, like, well, they switched over mostly to YouTube now. It's where all the memberships are. And John's like, oh, it's a lie. Everyone knows that's a lie. But the thing that I don't know how to say this to John, but he thinks that we need him. He needs us more than we need him. If no one's talking about these shows, no one's watching him and super chatting him anymore because it's not going to get picked up anywhere.
Yeah. It literally every super chat you get, with the exception of 3 people, is because of Karl, Rico, Menser Math, and Tookie, anyone else who's doing John stuff. Yeah. That's the only reason you get super chats. The majority of your super chats. Fact.
Yeah, he's always talking about how you guys would have nothing to do. And yes, it's interesting this week, but I'm still, even right now, more interested in whether or not Aaron hit the goal today on Steel Toe. I don't know if he hit the goal or not, and I need to find out.
I don't know. I usually get an update from Tookie. I don't know if he hit the goal or not.
He probably hit it then, but there's so many other things to talk. If you want to talk about Frenchie Hanna for a week because John's gone, that's going to be great for me.
What is this?
This is his Patreon numbers.
Oh, 20? When did he get that boost?
What happened?
Boy.
And then John likes to say, like, well, I don't care about Patreon. Like, well, you care about money. I know that.
Well, you put it up. He's got 20, and the line's going up through the roof. He's got 20. It's great. Got my keychain today. Thank you, guys. I'll send a note. Our pleasure, KFT. Thank you. My man, Jeopardy Ace. You fuckers better get your jerking hands ready because
for 50. Yeah, all right. I only jerk off for 50.
I
All right.
swallow cum.
I'll tell you what, for that, Dr. Steve's finger going right.
Yeah! Jerk it harder, Christian. You want to come back on this goddamn network, man. Get your shit together.
I've been jerking guys off all morning, all right? This is what I thought was going to be my break today.
You're right. I apologize. I did hit you up last minute. I know you were busy today. Shuli, what are you going to do? Oh, this is the Moyle who performed my bris. Shuli, what are you going to do when Jackie starts asking to see the books? The joke man is a shrewd businessman. Fake super chats won't fool him. I ain't worried about the fake ones. I'm worried about the real ones. Yeah, we're just going to have to establish a few things, you know.
Jackie's not going to believe you that YouTube takes 30% and so does Apple. He is not even like bullshit. There's no way that's true. Like, it is.
Why would anybody put their shows on a system where you're losing 30 here and 30 there?
Yeah, right. Who would do such a thing? You have to be an idiot.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there, my friend, and I'm with you. It will end horribly. John literally can't afford to keep the lights on.
Yeah, his lights went out multiple times this week, and he thought the internet was out for some reason.
That was one of my favorite quotes from the week is when he came back on after his blackout, and he goes to Rob. I don't know if we have a drop of it, but he said to Rob, he goes, "Did you see that? Everything shut off." He goes, something like that. He's just so dumb.
Real quick, I want to talk one more thing about Jackie.
Yes.
I brought him up again. So the other funny thing that happened when you were talking to him, Christian, came from a super chat, is you'll probably remember who super chatted this. I don't remember the person's name, but they did a great job quoting John with the date. It was like June of 2023, where John claimed that Jackie stole one of his bits. But John wasn't able to go to Howard because Jackie had the clout at the show.
That was also Reverend Shitstain, Powerful Pooper, who he really crafted that a lot of that interview because he didn't quite get the answer he wanted out of Jackie. So the one you referenced earlier, he kind of rephrased, what was your favorite joke that John wrote? But yeah, he had that direct quote. So yeah, the Reverend Shitstain was a huge help in that situation.
What was interesting about Jackie's answer to that is, so Jackie sees that and he goes, like, he's just perplexed. He's like, what do you mean steal a bit? Does John have bits? How could I even steal one of his bits? What does he do? I don't even understand how that's possible. And then Jackie comes to the conclusion, and rightfully so, that, John must be just trying to get my attention. He's probably saying shit like that so that I'll fire back, and then we can start a Twitter war or some kind of radio war or something like that. And I appreciate that Jackie thinks that. He doesn't realize how delusional John is. When John says shit like that, I believe that he believes it.
I'm with you. Yeah.
I think John is that fucking delusional, and Jackie has no idea what John has turned into. So Jackie's just sitting there going, I just probably wanted to get a rise out of me, whatever.
Yeah, and I like the way that Reverend Shitstain, I believe.
Yes, the Reverend, yes.
The way he asked the questions, there's an approach to it. Well, because like some people today were just like clubbing Jackie over the head with John stuff, and it's like, I can't, he's just going to say nothing, and it's a waste. Whereas you can kind of set it up in a way where Jackie is an honest guy. Like he's not afraid to talk about shit, but he's also not looking to do a show where he's shit talking people. You know what I mean? So there's like a balance there where I thought
Jackie's
the Reverend
beyond that at this point in his career. He's not looking at a shit stir with anyone.
Right. And Reverend Shitstain, I thought, asked the questions in a really good way where it got Jackie to talk rather than shut down.
Well, he is a man of the cloth, so that's why he's able to get the answers we need. Yeah.
God bless the Reverend. Rumor is that Stuttering John threw that can of beans at Joey C. We haven't even
rumor too, yeah.
We haven't even gotten to Beangate yet today. The mistakes on the quitclaim deed will save Asa. Maybe. And he'll go, I knew it all along. You can't beat this. I knew to mess that up. Just wanted to say hello, boys. Oh, hey, Cosby Don. I don't think Don's here.
I was told that this countdown would not be here today. So I almost walked, but I decided to stick around.
Oh, hey, Master Blaster. There you go.
Well, that was a good time to promote the fact that the real Don Jameson was on Who Are These Broadcasters? You guys had your 1-year anniversary this year. Eric Nagel was on, and you guys had a fantastic show.
We had a lot of fun with that. Don, the real Don, and Don will always say this: the real Don is easier to get on your show than Discount Don. So.
And what did Eric cook for the? All right, tell me later. Never mind. If Stuttering John quits, you'll only be left with blunder years. What would you do after 2028? You ain't kidding, man. You ain't kidding. Hey, welcome back to 1-800-Dabbler. Time to listen to a confused drunk make phony phone calls. Another great creator that's on the rise.
Fantastic.
In a short amount of time. 1-800-Dabbler doing some great shit. Go to his YouTube page. That's one of the things I love the most about this Dabbleverse is that the creators that have branched out off of this shit, the people like the Looney Tunes critic and Psych and Sheet Shitterson and fucking everybody out there.
Factory. There's a guy named the Detroit Dabbling Machine.
Yep.
Who's been doing some fantastic production.
He did the Woke Dad theme, right, Carl?
Yes, he did the
that's
Batman
fantastic.
Woke Dad theme, but a lot of Stuttering John stuff too.
We got this dude Mars who's in our Discord, and he does amazing face swap shit where he takes John and then he'll either put my face or Bob's face on it, and then he changes the voice as well, and we get this. Check this out.
Wow.
Or you dumb.
Whatever. There we go.
Or you dumb fuck. That's just the New York in me. You can take the New Yorker out of New York when I was in California, but you can't take the New Yorker. You can't take you can't. You might take the New Yorker out of New York, but you can't take. Oh, now I check them the same. I feel like George W. Bush. You could take the man out of New York, but you can't take New York out of the man. There, you could take me out of New York, but you can't take New York out of me. There we go. Took a little while. Sorry.
That's insane. That is incredible.
Isn't that crazy?
Bravo.
He's done it with me too. It's just super creepy.
Bravo.
Oh my God. It's the war here.
Of course, I'm sitting here going, wow, that's incredible. You could do that. Meanwhile, he probably hit 3 commands in some application that just did that for him.
Yeah. Look at this. I've never been fatter in my life. Look at this. Look at this.
Is this guy serious? It can't actually be serious. And you are. That's the sad part. You really expect us to believe that you've ever been in show business. You have not. You have not been in show business, Bob. I have. I've been in show business. I did in feature films.
By the way, if Uncle Rico didn't work out, this would be the Shuli show right now. Just me fat going, I've done things.
I love it.
I mean, you mean the amount of things I did them, but you haven't. I've been on Conan, Jon Stewart, Jay Leno. I've done the late night shows, Bob. You have not. You have not. So don't ever put yourself in the same category as me, Pup.
Now, that is a fun thing that John's been saying lately. And every time I've caught him live when he goes, don't ever compare yourself to me. And I'm always like, if I'm ever comparing myself to John, something's gone horribly wrong in my life. No one, I think, is comparing themselves to John.
He wants us to be.
Yeah.
He wants us to say that we're better, we're bigger in show business, or we have more credits. He's just waiting to pounce on something like that. No one's saying that. We all say, no, John, your career has been incredible. That's why it's amazing you've fallen this far.
Yeah.
That's why we love it.
Whenever he's comparing himself to either you guys or anybody, he's always comparing things from the 20th century. But right now, you just showed those 20 Patreon members. You know, it's like, yeah, but what have you done for us lately, John? Nothing.
Yeah, you can sit here and laugh at people's Patreons all you want, but when you're hiding how many people you have on your Patreon, you don't have room to fucking talk shit, in my opinion. Joking aside, drinking with benzo, Stuttering John is like putting petrol on a fire. The come down is horrendous. He has an addiction to benzos, often forgotten. You're right. You're right.
True. And just the fact that he wasn't able to get his prescription filled in Florida because he has no idea what he's doing.
It's why if he's going to an ER, he needs his pills. That's how you know. He's gone through them. And every single person I've talked to has said the same thing. Drinking on what he's taking is terrible. It is not good. Nothing good about it. And it ain't gonna end well.
Only if you're a pussy and can't hold your liquor.
Shit, way ya.
That's what Dr. Steve told me.
He did, yeah, that I'm a pussy. I believe him. Little bitch. Why do all these people try the long con and fail horribly? So bad. And by the way, it is not legal to move assets out of your name to avoid losing it in a lawsuit. It just opens you up to a court-ordered audit.
Oh
God.
That's interesting too. That's fine.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. You know what? Vince's show might turn into must-watch TV if he's going to start looking at that stuff.
Ma, this guy's got to audit you. I'm going to the bar. I'll see you later. Oh, God. Lady Carla, what is the status on copywriter strike? Also, Karl and Christian, please scream so you match Shuli. Am I too loud? I apologize.
I don't think so.
All right. So what happened is I played John's song. Now I'm forgetting the name of it about his head.
I got a tiny dick.
I feel small.
I feel small.
I was close.
I played that along with the music video on an emergency show that I did, and I completely transformed it. I paused it. I commented. I did all the things you have to do for fair use in the Copyright Act, and I got a copyright strike from John Melendez. He manually sent that in, which got the video taken down. I put in a counter notification explaining exactly how I transformed it and why that's okay under the fair use clause. And for some reason, YouTube said, nope, without even bouncing that back to John. I don't even know if a human saw this. It could have just been their system. A bot just said, no, we agree with the copyright holder. So now if I want to go the next step and say, no, I'm positive that this is not a copyright violation, I could lose my channel. So I'm like, it's not worth it. I'm just going to start a Rumble channel. We'll put it up on there. I'll put the video up on Rumble. That'll get some more eyeballs over there.
Well, then you can start getting people to send in Rumble rants along with Streamlabs, gifted memberships, super chats, super tits.
I can't
wait for you to be saying Rumble rants.
Some people are probably confused what we're talking about, but Steel Toe Morning Show, the telethon that is the Steel Toe Morning Show, we've been talking about quite a bit. My buddy Blind Mike Geary Sunday morning his goal is $10,000. There he is. Mike Geary's goal is $10,000, and I'm going to pop on there a little bit, but he does the Blind Mike Project every Sunday, 10 a.m. on his channel, 10 a.m. Eastern.
I get sent to bed early for butt fingering in public.
Easy, Aaron, easy. There's actually a question about Aaron here from the Aussie guy.
Hey.
Good to see you, pal. Thank you for the 6 months. Bigger piece of shit, Stuttering John or Aaron M. Holt? I say it's another win for the toe. Blind Mike on
United States of Australia is his show.
Oh, that's his show? Okay.
Oh, sweet.
Thank you.
I got to get on that show, too. I know I'm overdue to come on, so we'll figure that out.
I have not been invited.
Piece of shit.
Me too.
All right, Christian. That's someday you'll get to the big leagues. Don't worry about it. He'll be on the show one of these days.
I thought this was the big leagues, but okay.
I asked him to open the books, and he said he'll get.
So John's a bigger piece of shit. Now, does John headbutt his wife? I don't know. It's possible.
Right. Not anymore. She's got a man to protect her, but maybe. That is a tough. I go John. I go John because
if you just want to go on the surface level, who would you less want to be in a room with? It's definitely John. I think that Aaron is a very shitty person, but he can fake it better than John can because he still looks like his human form. He hasn't morphed
Right.
his next reincarnation.
Yeah, Aaron's a sales guy, which is annoying.
Right.
Being around
Right.
sales guys are always fake. They're always talking you up. Like, this is fun, right? We're having a lot of fun. Giving me money. You guys enjoying this? Or give me
It just
money.
takes
Great.
one of you to start the rally. Come on,
come
who's
on.
got it? Who's got $5?
I give him credit, man. I couldn't do. It's like the reason why I hated bringing merch on the road is I hated standing there and being like, "Hey, who wants to?" You know, I just hated that.
I know.
And
it's the
he
worst.
literally does it twice a day,
Twice
all
a
week.
day, he has to rattle the can.
Oh, and a
Terrible
tiny dick.
existence.
Thank you. Who is the guy that does the clips now? He's a clipper, and he just clips the begging for the. He
Oh,
does
I don't
like
know.
what's the guy's name? He's got the Paul Wall thing at the very. I got the internet going nuts. Whoever that guy is, he has that in his intro, and I can't think of his channel name. But he's been clipping off just Aaron begging for like 20, 30-minute chunks. And Real Media. That's what it
right.
is.
Yes.
Thank you. Real Media. Yeah. It's insane to me to watch him do that.
I did a bonus show with Mike Geary on Monday this week, and we're talking about Julia Fox's audiobook. But at the end of it, I said, hey, let's just pop on and watch the last 5 minutes of Aaron's show from today. Because the last 5 minutes is the greatest thing. It's where we find out how far away he is from the goal, how much he needs to reach the goal. And then he does this whole countdown. Every 30 seconds, he explains how much time is left. He explains that if we get within 50, you get another 30.
Yeah.
And then we just got to knock out the 50 over the next 30. And then
At
we'll
one
hit the
point, he's
goal,
like,
keep the
at one
win
point,
streak.
he's like, I'm throwing in 100. He goes, what? He goes, let's go nuts. He goes,
I'll pay myself.
And the best part is that he's telling you what you're going to get if he goes into overtime. And he repeats the topics. And he's like, Deadpool and Wolverine was the #1 movie at the box office. I didn't see it, but we'll talk about how it made money. All right, you didn't see the fucking movie. You're trying to get me to pay. I want your hot take on Deadpool.
It's something else. I refuse to give John a cent. His mom is 87 dealing with this. Hey, Karl, John Ritter from Sling Blade. Look okay. Look, is that what you're getting?
That's what I'm going for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Marzi, the guy who made those great videos. Thank you, Mars.
I got a
Brilliant
tiny
guy.
dick.
Thank you. A quitclaim deed doesn't mean he sold it. It means he's relinquishing his rights and ownership. Wrong again. Shit waiter. That's why it's only 10. I understand. Either way, it's not good.
Yeah, well, I mean, the term sold it. The fact that there's money involved, I still think Blind Mike called it. I'm still giving the W to Mike.
A transaction has occurred. Thank you. I hated AI before now. Maybe not so much.
Yeah, those videos are incredible.
Take down DDT. Heading to Rochester in 2 weeks. Can't wait to engage in alcoholism with you all.
Oh, yeah.
Likewise.
We're all going to be in meetings on Monday. I promise you.
Levy face swap kind of looks like Al Michaels. Lest anyone think this was a farcical call. Dear Mr. Froggy Boo Boo, could you perhaps tell Shuli at some point in the near future that his audio drops are consistently about 20% too hot, and if he corrects it mid-drop, his voice is low? Yes. Thank you.
That wasn't a super chat. I think
No, it wasn't.
Frog's
It was
just trying to give you some
It's a
feedback.
little thing we call cunt chats over here at TSN.
Yes.
I think Vince would settle out of court for a permanent co-host position on Stuttering John's show. Well,
Oh, interesting.
you know, Rumpel, you bring up an interesting point because I've heard from my sources that John has in fact tried to reach out to Vince to try and squash all of this.
Of course he has.
And he denied it today on the show. But so far, I would say pretty much everything my sources have told me.
Well,
and
he'd
I
be
have a
crazy
lot.
not to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I would do if someone served me a $12.5 million lawsuit and I used to be my friend is I'd call him and be like, hey, man, what's up?
Can we talk about this? Please?
Yeah. So you really are pissed. Okay, cool. Now that you got my attention, what can I do to help you, buddy?
Oh, this isn't a bit.
Instead of me giving you the 12.5, what if I put you on every day and you get 40% of the super chats? Only 20.
He would start at the lower amount of that.
5%.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I'll send you kids a cameo every day for 4 months. What do you think of that? Reply to the email that they rejected your claim and then reach out to Team YouTube. They will have someone review it and forward it again to John. I had to do that with Paramount.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that option as far as what I could do, but I haven't gotten Team YouTube involved.
Like we had the very first strike we ever got. We appealed it.
Yep.
With your help, and it got rejected immediately.
Mm-hmm.
The next 3 or 4 he tried, we used the same system that you told us about, and none of them stuck. So I think when you're dealing with a fucking algorithm, with a bot or whatever the fuck is going on, it's a crapshoot, man.
It really is. Yeah, I know, because I've had to deal with this many times with SiriusXM, Simon and Schuster. I've had a lot of these larger. I mean, Christian on who are these broadcasters? There's supposed to be a fucking copyright strike every week. It's fucking Olympics coverage and shit. Like Christian. NBC doesn't look.
It was the Tom Brady roast was the one where I was like, "What? Everybody's showing this fucking."
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Nope.
Nope.
Get rid of sports and British people. Those fuckers get you every time. Every time.
Hey, can I bring up a new subject real quick?
Sure.
I'm like Frog over here trying to run the show. Michael Caputo. Now, I know this is last week's news. I understand the Michael Caputo interview, but it's fascinating. So I saw that Michael posted somewhere. I think I saw this on Dabblers Anonymous. He posted somewhere that he'd be happy to go on WATP or Uncle Rico. You know, he's trying to promote his books and stuff, so he's happy to go on shows and do whatever. And I had no interest in talking to him until I saw that, so I emailed him. I went to his website, found his email, sent him an email, put a link to our review of the interview on YouTube, and just said, "Hey, Michael, I'm a big fan of your father's. Loved it on the Stern Show from back in the day. Love to have you on. We can talk about your books. I'd love to hear more about this interview with John." No response. No
That's
response.
crazy. He got back to us almost immediately.
Really?
Right, Frog?
Yeah, like 23 minutes after I sent the email.
Okay, and what did he say?
But did you guys send him a video of you talking about it?
No,
Maybe
we
that's
didn't
different.
send him a clip of us shitting on him. No.
Maybe that was it.
So the guy who used to be in marketing marketed himself poorly.
Well, listen, I don't want to get somebody on the show under false pretenses, right?
Right.
What? Why are you doing a show if you're not trying to get people on?
This is like when Kevin Brennan tried to get John to cancel. Actually, did get John to cancel on me when we had our one-on-one. And Kevin Brennan's just like, he just put out a video this morning of him shitting on you, John. It's like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do when we have our one-to-one, too. That's what I do. I shit on John. I'm not going to change my persona.
But you bring up something really fascinating because he, for the first time, he admitted that Kevin was a fool for paying him $3,000.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that. This
was like last week or the week before. You know, he's been fighting with Kevin because Kevin won't love him back. And and at one point, he's like, "You're the idiot who paid me $3,000." And I'm like, see, even he knew it was a fucking ripoff. That felt good. What? No Andy? Oh, hey, Frog.
Oh, hey, Don.
Nerd. A lot of people either prepping for divorce or wise guys prepping for the inevitable often try to move assets in that manner. They put assets in family's name, but it rarely, if ever, works.
How do you know that, Tom R? What are you
That's why
up
it's
to
just
over there?
That's why it's just an R at the end of
right?
at that last name. Hey, Kim
This
Florentine.
chick is hot.
I would. I definitely would.
Ma'am. I'm behind, but per Stuttering John's divorce agreement, any unused college funds are split between Stuttering John and Susanna after a predetermined amount of years has passed. His daughter also had a full ride.
Wow.
Okay.
All right.
You
so
would have
John's
thought
got some
she
money
would have been
coming.
able to afford to eat, but what do I know?
Oh, this thing. We tried to watch that. We did watch it, and I wish I never. The worst sizzle reel, his tie, his haircut, the boxes as furniture, the two characters not looking at each other, the kid's girl's bike. What a bump. So this sizzle reel, I can't believe I hadn't seen this before, but I guess he tried to put together some sort of sketch, some sort of bit.
Yeah.
Well, this was so he could replace Leno when he retired, right? It was that.
As ridiculous as that may sound, I could totally see him putting this together, thinking that would help him.
It's also his bite-sized TV days.
Yeah.
When he was experimenting with a lot of these different, because he used to have a channel. I don't know if it's still up or not. He used to have a channel up there with a lot of these types of videos on there. I wish I would have grabbed it when I could have.
We saw on his playlist on YouTube one of the he has like 110 videos private, but one of the videos you can watch on his playlist is an Uncle Rico episode on his playlist on YouTube, which was pretty funny.
Nice.
Hold on, where'd that go? Billy Buttons. Yeah, that was the name of, and he was supposed to be. He got it wrong. It was a take on Benjamin Button.
Yeah.
Right. So Benjamin Button, the premise of that movie is the what is it? The older he gets,
he starts off as an old man and he dies as a baby. Yeah.
So this premise was he just stayed an old man.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
So stupid.
It didn't work, any of it. It was brilliant and so terrible. And then the debate started. Well, what's worse, that or one too many? And then so maybe for your Rumble thing, I don't know if we could do a simulcast, but maybe both of us should go on one night and watch one too many on there because we have yet to see it.
Oh, all right. We should definitely do that because I was talking to Vinny about this today. Vinny was hoping to do like a midnight screening of One Too Many during DabbleCon. But him and Cardiff both cannot track down the owners of this movie because National Lampoon's doesn't own it. They just like licensed the name.
Right.
They just got the name to slap on the cover.
Right.
And so no one can figure out who fucking owns this thing. So I was like, just so you know, Vinny, no one's going to know that you played it or care probably, but you can't get the comedy club involved and everything like that. So I understand his reluctance. But yeah, I would definitely watch it on Rumble with you guys.
Okay, I like it.
And the answer to which one is worse is One Too Many because it's an hour and a half long. It's an hour and a half of that.
Yeah, but at least there's other people in the movie.
True.
It's not John playing an old guy and him,
It's not Melendez the Clumps.
Poor Jeffrey Ross. Can we get him on one of these shows to ask him about making that movie?
I mean, it may be the toughest shit he has to deal with in life with everything that's going on is anytime somebody brings up one too many, he's like, oh, Jesus.
God, what am I at my psychiatrist's office? I got to talk about this again.
Ask me about dating chicks instead. I'd rather talk about that.
I get it. So the other thing that John said on his show today is that he didn't start any of this. So what's really annoying about John, like it's getting tiresome, his lying and his gaslighting, because he even said, he goes, I didn't start any of this. All I did was overreact to WATP, and then the whole universe came after me. It's like, you just described what started all of this, didn't you?
Yeah. You completely overreacting. And had he not had that guest on, Adam, who said to him, you overreact and your reaction is the payoff for the audience, which is why they continue trolling you. He wouldn't even use that fucking word.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. We also showed, and I'm sure you guys talked about this too, I showed it on WATP. It resurfaced that John was going after you, Shuli, back in 2019. He had a tweet out where he's like, oh, I got some, what was he calling you about that? Shalom Shirley?
Shalom Shirley,
so
yeah.
You had a chick name too at one point.
Yeah. But I got him. I got Beetlejuice calling me Julie. I was getting it from everywhere.
And then we got Christina Blatt down here. I don't know how you're escaping anything.
It's because he's an ally, so he gives you all girl names. So, what you were talking about, Karl, it reminded me how, guys that you know pretty well and do shows with, my co-host Eric Zane, Dick Masterson, those are guys that you got to know because you made fun of them on your show. Yes. And they were like, oh, hey, that was fun. Yeah, I'll come on and talk about it. If John had reached out, I was like, all right, yeah, you were a little hard on me. You want me to come on and talk about it? I can laugh about myself.
Yeah.
None of this would have happened.
Correct.
Right?
That is, well, I don't know that none of this would have happened.
Okay.
It would have happened the way that it happened because I will have anyone on the show who I've goofed on who's in on the joke. And people have had me on their shows that I've goofed on. And I'm like, all right, let's see how this plays out. You never know what you're in for. But I feel like that's fair. If I'm going to goof on someone, they want to come back at me. That's fine. If John would have done that, I definitely would have had him on the show to talk about it. Instead, his immediate response was, oh, who the fuck does this guy think he is? He's a nobody. I'm famous. He's a loser. He's a nobody.
Yeah, it's the same when he struck us and we had to go to Patreon. And even after that, we were like, John, just come on here and do a show with us. Let's all bust each other's balls. It'll be fucking funny. Just do it. Nope. Again, it was an insult to even suggest it because he's so amazing.
He's too famous, yeah.
Right. Only John is stupid enough to move assets after a lawsuit was filed. Again, it makes you think that whatever attorney he's talking to might have a dabbling in his name. He's not the most thought out attorney, but
I hope that's true.
We'll see. We'll see.
Dan Esquire.
Boys, plugs. Anything you'd like to plug besides DabbleCon 2, August 16th, 17th, WATPlive.com for tickets? Go ahead.
Yeah, whoarethese.com is your one-stop shop for what I'm up to. And for people who still enjoy audio podcasts, that's still a thing. People like to just listen to shows. You can subscribe to Who Are These Podcasts wherever you listen to your fine podcasts. We put out 2 episodes every single week. We make fun of various podcasts. We just did a show that I dropped where Bill Maher had the Haktua girl on. And I like Bill Maher. I've actually really appreciate his show, Club Random, because it reminds me of the old Howard Stern interviews where people get real comfortable and they just start sharing shit.
Yeah.
He gets people drunk and high. And
the who was it? Rainn Wilson episode was insane. Some good
and
stuff.
The Richard Dreyfuss one, he practically laid down on the floor and he talked about how he always wanted to fuck his sister or something.
Yeah, it's crazy the stuff that he comes up with. So we're checking out a Haktua girl's on there, Haley Welch. Let's see what that's all about. And Bill Maher, I don't know what happened to him. He didn't know how to talk to this girl. He was trying to pitch her a podcast on his network. I think he thought he was going to get laid on this show. He got all offended because she was trying to hook him up with her grandma. And she's like, yeah, I'll call you Peepaw. You can be my Peepaw. You can marry grandma. And he was just like, that's not what I want to hear at all. I'm trying to hit on you, dummy.
No, I was gonna pee on you. That's you're not getting my vibe at all. Also available as an audio-only podcast is a show I do on Karl's channel. Who Are These Broadcasters? But if you want to watch live with Eric Zane and myself, Tuesdays, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, and the aforementioned bonus episode where I talked to Jackie Martling for an hour and a half, also available. Not behind the paywall. All my stuff is free over there. And I have my own podcast, The Blackcast, BLADTCAST. I had Dennis Miller and John Lovitz on our 600th episode. So you can find that wherever you find podcasts.
Beautiful. And of course, TSN, man, hit like on your way out. If you haven't, hit subscribe if you're not. And get yourself a membership. We'll be on tonight with Rico at 8. So thank you, everybody, for another amazing week in the Dabbleverse. We appreciate all the support to all the channels, all the creators. Keep supporting them. And DabbleCon 2. All right. Shout out to the boys in the back.
One more real quick thing I just remembered. If you're in the Western New York area, I know some of you are, come down to Beer Park this Sunday. The Ice Doves are performing from 2 to 5. Free show, outdoors, going to be a lot of fun. You can see me, producer Chris, Lucy Typebox, all performing in our band, The Isotopes.
Beautiful. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you guys later. Bye.